Hi guys, it's Lawrence from LT Racing, back with some more online Forza racing, and this time we are racing in the wet, again with the Aston Martin, and this is jumping into the race and qualifying in 4th place. We're getting a quick jump on the BMW off the line, but can't hold it around the first corner, and he gets me back. It's a pretty fun race. Not really one that's used to racing in the rain, so it's quite a new experience for me. But a few changes. So I've got the camera on this time, which just so you guys can see me and say hi. And realistically, though, I really do struggle to do the talking while streaming, as we see the BMW there go meet the barrier. Or as Super GT will say, meet Barry R. Okay, so moving around the course, felt pretty good. Had done some practice laps, and like I say, I managed to get one qualifying lap in before the time finished, and then qualifying in 4th, and then up to 3rd at the minute due to the BMW going off the track. But yeah, as I mentioned, a couple of changes. So I have tried to work on the sound and the microphone settings and play around. As I've mentioned before, this is all brand new to me, so I'm just learning as I'm going and trying to tinker with some settings and watching endless hours of YouTube tutorials on setting up microphones both in OBS and tweaking afterwards in DaVinci Resolve, which is where I do the editing for the videos. I've got no experience with video editing or with sound recording, so this turns out to be a bit of a good battle with this guy, even though I did take a bit of a lunge up the inside then, but in the wet, probably not ideal with him then turning into the corner and me not being able to stop the car. But yeah, so as we come around to the end of lap 1, we are up 2 places, so we're in 2nd place. But what I have realised as I've been playing this is, like, when I do qualify for some of these races, it actually takes a lot of the racing away from it, so to speak. So if you qualify quite well, then you're up at the front of the grid, and I do find that you miss out on a lot of actual racing. So what I've started doing, and what you'll see in future videos, is me actually not qualifying. So I'll throw some practice laps in and get used to the track and learn the track, and then jump straight into the race without setting a qualifying lap. So what that means is I start towards the back end of the grid, and then try and fight through the grid, which is it's much more interesting and a lot more fun for me as well. So that was a pretty big epiphany this week for me. But yeah, working through, getting used to the cornering, finding the braking points, and eventually what I will do, or what my aim is to do, is turn off the braking line altogether and just race without the lines. So that will be interesting, to say the least, when I start doing that. And what I'll see is probably my lap times dropping right off before I get confident, get used to where the braking lines are, where the braking points are, sorry, without the braking line, and then see where we go from there. Another thing I've been thinking about as well this week, so I have actually got Assetto Corsa Competizione on my computer, and I did give it a quick look at, but until I do manage to pick up a steering wheel and pedal set, it's just not really worth playing. Had a quick go with the controller, and yeah, it's just not. It's too much like a simulator to have much fun while you're using a controller, and so I think what I'll do is wait until I have got a steering wheel, and then jump into some ACC and see what all the hype's about there, and that'll probably be the next step. I've been looking at options for steering wheels and next steps. So I think what my plan is when it comes to fruition is probably pick up the Logitech G923. I'm not sure if anyone else has got any experience with that, or if they can make any recommendations. I want this to be like an iterative journey, so it will be moving through step by step by step. So I don't want to jump straight in and buy sort of the Fanatec top level €1,000 worth of kit. So I'm quite happy going in step by step. Start with the G923 and then work my way up. Okay, back to the race. We're on lap 3 now. It's been pretty uneventful for the first couple of laps. Just kind of get bedded in. Lead car is getting away a little bit, and then we've got the Mercedes behind us, which is slowly reeling us in, so he's getting a little bit closer every lap as we make our way around. But the Aston Martin, feel quite comfortable in the Aston Martin. It's quite a cool looking car. It was always a dream car of mine to have an Aston Martin one day, so it's still on the wish list, but I'm not sure the budget holder or the home budget holder is going to allow me to get my Aston Martin anytime soon. Yep, so as we dip around here, and then on this lap, what I do actually do is just dip 2 wheels off the track, and that will pick up a 1.4 second penalty. That was rather annoying. It's just pushing the limits a little bit too far, and just, like I say, just dip those wheels over the line as we come through the end of lap 3. What I'm seeing though is the segment scores are pretty good, so it gives me a bit of confidence that my line's okay, my braking and the speed around the corners is pretty good. The Mercedes is now right on the back of us for this lap, so that gives me a bit of added pressure as well, so I tend to go a little bit deeper into the corners and concentrating on what's happening behind me rather than driving the track. So that's something for me to work on, just to try and maybe drive a little bit defensively, but not lose all my concentration as I go around the corners and into the braking points. But yeah, as he comes round, this one you can tell he's getting a little bit more frustrated. He's sort of all over the back end, going from left to right. A little bit off-putting for me. But yeah, this really fast sweeping right bend here, and then up to the top of the hill, and then what you can do is just tap the brakes and then let the hill slow the car down as you come up and over the ridge, and then into the sharp right-hander. And then he gives me a little bit of a love tap here, and then almost tries to pit maneuver me around the bend, but I do manage to hold the line. And then into the long sweeping right hand, and then where I got my penalty on the last one, so I'm a little bit more cautious now, go a little bit slower through here and don't take as much curb, making sure not to get those wheels off the track again. But quite importantly, he has got a 2-second penalty, so that gives me a little bit of confidence. If he does get through, maybe I'll be able to stay on the back of him for a little while and hopefully stay within half a second, so I could still get him as the lead goes into the pits on this lap. So we're going to go out for one more, so this is the end of lap 5, coming on to lap 6. So we'll do one more lap, and then I think we'll be going in to swap the tyres as well for us. We've got Mercedes right up the back of us, and this turns into a really interesting battle over this lap. He's clearly pushing quite hard, but actually giving each other a lot of space. So he makes a lunge here and goes past. I give him the space and don't really fight it too hard. But then as we come round, you get a really good drive out of this corner and get right up onto the back of him, and then return the favour by going up the inside. And then likewise, he gives me plenty of space, doesn't really fight it too hard. And then coming around this right-hander, he comes right up through and gets a really good run, but maybe slightly too aggressive as he comes up by the side, but then he just goes in far too hard onto that bend, and off he goes. But that was a really good little battle, really good section of the course to be battling around the corners and trading position, so that was really good fun. And I think this corner is one of my favourites, the big sweeping right-hander up and over the ridge. It's really fast, really fun as we come into the chicane. And then the Mercedes has dropped back by a second and a half, so that gives me a little bit of confidence as I come into this last section of the track before we throw it into the pits to put some new rubber on and finish off the last 3 laps. But yeah, guys, if any of you did this track, drop me a comment. Let me know how you got on. If you enjoy racing in the rain, I know it adds a little bit more, dimension, a little bit more trickiness to it. But I do find it's pretty good. Yeah, let's come straight into the pits, throw on some more wets, and make a fatal error by not putting any fuel in the car. So as you see, we've got an estimated 2.7 laps to go, and we still have 3 laps to drive. But as we come out of the pits, we're going to come out into 3rd position. So we've got the lead car that pitted before us up ahead of us, 6 seconds up the road, and then the Mercedes taking on the lead. So we'll just speed this up. There's no cars around us for this section as we come out into clear air from the pits, and just trying to get some heat into the tyres, get them bedded in, get them working to the best of our advantage, and then we can start trying to reel in that lead car. So the Mercedes is now in the pits, and I think it was a bad decision for him to come in on that lap. I think he lost quite a lot of lap time on the rubber, not having the tyres, not having any life left in the tyres. So he drops right down the order as we move through this lap, and then we've got Jarek 2599 chasing us down, and as you can see, the fuel is 0 laps. So we've got 0 laps left to do 1 lap. So coming into this last lap then, we've got the leader 7.3 seconds up the road. So unless he makes some lapse in judgment or a fatal mistake, it's unlikely that we're going to catch him. But more importantly, we've got Jarek 2599 catching us up from behind. And importantly, he's only got a 0.2 second penalty to our 1.4. So he only needs to be within 1.2 seconds of the back of the car, and he'll get the result from us. But we're sitting in a podium position. Even if we lose the position to Jarek, we'll still be in 3rd, so we'll take the podium. I'm just trying to do what I can with the fuel, save some fuel as we come around this course on this final lap, see if I can nurse it home. I think by this point I've come to the realisation that we're going to lose 2nd place to the guy behind, but that's okay. It's all a learning curve, and so yeah, need to keep an eye on that fuel and make sure that if I haven't got enough fuel left, that we need to pop a little bit in. But in my head, I'd put in enough fuel for the entire race at the beginning of the race on the setup, and so I thought I'd have enough without thinking about it too much. Yeah, so coming into this final section of the course, a couple more corners left to go. The fuel is holding up, much to my surprise, as we are coming round to the end, and then finally it gives out. So we are coming up to the corner really slow. So yeah, as we come through this final section, we are out of fuel, and we do lose the 3rd place as I foresaw. Anyway, that'll wrap that one up. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks again, guys. Bye bye.